Hey guys, Steve Lav here. Just a follow-up video on, the high efficiency equipment video I did. First thing, there's a couple of things I didn't talk about that I like to address. And like on, I said that I'm not a big fan of the, I call them suitcase boilers. They're little tiny boilers that hang on a wall when they vent outside. Depends on the job. Now, like I have one of them in my garage. I have all radiant heat in my garage. And I got a little suitcase boiler on the garage, and it's perfect for that because it's all radiant heat. Now, radiant heat, you can't have high temperature going through the loops. I think I got like 100 degree water going, 110 degree water going through the loops, and it's coming back at 100 degrees. So it's perfect. It's condensating the way it's supposed to. Now, on a little high efficiency boiler like that, if you're coming back at higher than 110 degrees boiler temperature, the boiler is not going to condensate. All right, so say you got a 98% efficiency of boiler, and you got, copper fin baseboard. Now you're feeding 180 degree water to the copper fin baseboard, and you're coming back like maybe, 175 or whatever. The boiler's not going to condensate. So your 98% or 95% efficient boiler drops way down. So, that's just something that to think about. As far as, high efficiency furnaces, 90 plus furnaces, I like 90 plus furnaces. I just don't think that they're going to last as long as the 80 plus furnaces do. I need to put a new furnace in my house. I'm going to go with a 90 plus furnace. I'm not saying that the stuff is junk. Just saying that, there's more bells and whistles, and, the newer stuff isn't always better than the older stuff, is what I'm saying. As far as, two-stage modulating air conditioning, I don't need that in my house. I can go with a, 13, 14 seer, straight up cool setup. That's all for me. That's all I need. For a lot of my customers, the little ranch houses and stuff, that's all they need. My way. We don't need two-stage modulating, equipment. Like, if you had like 4 zone dampers on a house, it's all set up with zone damp. I'm not a big fan of zoning. If it's done properly, it can be good. If you go with something like that, you're gonna need modulating two-stage equipment, air conditioning stuff. So it all depends on the situation, your layout and how it is. I just wanted to clarify that. That I'm not against the high efficiency equipment all the time. Sometimes, it's saving a bunch of... It is going to be harder to work on come when it breaks. You guys all have to admit that. There's more bells and whistles. When you ever have more stuff, you're throwing more stuff in the fire. It is going to be, harder to work. I'm not saying that we can't work on it. We're not gonna work on it. It's just going to be, new ground that, especially a lot of these high efficiency suitcase boilers I see them. I'll open them up and I'll look in there and I say, oh my God, look at this flipping thing. Back in the day, the gas boiler had a gas valve, a circuit board that I have on the truck. I got gas valves on the truck, and I got circulators. Not much else could go wrong with it. Relief valves and expansion. I have all that stuff. Now, these new suitcase boilers, I don't stock any of that stuff on a truck. These people are going to be calling me for a no heat call in the middle of the night. I ain't going to have that stuff on there. They better hope they get a nice heavy-duty quilt or some little electric heaters, because they can't get them pots till, the morning, hopefully, if the supply house has them. And most of the times they're not stocking them pots. They stock the units, selling all the units that are going out left and right, but they ain't stocking all them flipping replacement pots. Are you kidding me? That's a flipping joke. But, that's just something I wanted to talk about. Hopefully I didn't ruffle any feathers, and I just wanted to clarify that. Sometimes I do these videos and I put my neck in the flipping chopping block, and that's not my intent. I'm just trying to, stir up conversation and get a little feedback on what you guys think about it. I haven't had a lot of problems with the stuff I come across and I've been able to fix. Well, eventually it's going to get to the point, where we're going to have these pots. And the more and more of this stuff they put in, it's just going to make more work for us. We'll have to be working with computers and laptops and all this stuff in the future. You know, and some of these high-end houses, these big giant houses these people build, you know, they got a ton of money anyway. So, you know, between the difference between a 13 or a 16 seer, there ain't gonna be that much of a difference in electrical cost in their you know, they're not gonna notice that little bit extra. These guys are gonna flipping money up the ass anyway. So, like I said, you know, it all depends on the situation, how you're laid out. You know, your house is all radiant heat and stuff. You know, you couldn't go with a regular boiler if your house is all radiant heat. You have to go with, you know, a little suitcase high efficiency boiler, condensating boiler. You have to go with that. Like I said, I got one in my garage. I like it. My garage is 3 times bigger than my house, and I love the radiant heat. And it's like a garage setup. That's the perfect heat for a garage. Radiant heat. I keep it probably about, I don't know, 45, 50 degrees in there. And you walk in there and it's nice and toasty. You know, you don't even need a sweater in there at that temperature because the floor stays about 75. Heat only goes up a little bit. But the floor is what heats it up. It's beautiful for a garage. And that's a perfect setup. So, you know, if I would have put a little hot air furnace in there, it wouldn't have worked. That cold, all that floor would have been cold, cold, cold. I should do a video on that if I can move some of the stuff out. I got so much stuff in my garage I can't even move in there. It's that bad. I gotta start getting my shit together and clean it up a little bit. But anyway, like I said, you know, hopefully I don't piss on anybody's parade. But you know, I think it was a good video to bring forth, and you know, everybody's got comments. I know a lot of the guys over in Europe and shit. It's all been like that for years. All, you know, high efficiency, you know, wall hung stuff and little tiny setups. But that's the way everything's going now. Everything's switching over. You know, I heard at the beginning of the year we're gonna have to go with all 90+ furnaces over here anyway. So I ain't got an issue with the 90+ furnaces. Vent them out the wall, and I just don't think they're gonna last as long as the other ones did. Simple as that. They're not going to last as long. You need more return also with those high efficiency boilers. And that's another issue up my way. But it is what it is. We'll just work it out. We'll come to grips with what's the changes, and we'll just move it along. That's how life is. You know, we just change. We just change with the times. And you know, experience comes as we go. Like it's been like my whole life, you know, you learn as you go, and after you do it a bunch of times, you get better at it. Pretty much the way it is. You know, we'll all learn. If we got to go for classes or whatever for this new equipment coming out, you know, they're not offering any classes, but we might need to be able to get a heads up on, you know, how to check these different controls and stuff on these boilers. You know, I know a lot of guys down south, they work on strictly furnaces, but I got a lot of boilers up here. And I come across furnaces also. You know, hot water tanks, instant hot water tanks, big thing now. You open them things up, there's a ton of little controls and switches, and you try to stick your hands in there, you can barely even fit your hands in there to take this shit apart. It's all rubber hoses and, you know, stainless steel covered rubber hoses instead of pipe. And half the time the things are leaking all over the place. What a flipping joke. You know? But I talked to the guys at the supply house. They're selling them. They're going out of there like gangbusters, left and right. So, you know, the service and repair guy is going to be coming across them in, you know, a couple years' time. This shit's going to start breaking down. At first, it's fine, you know. Plug and play, turn the thing on, you get your money and run. Well, what about the poor bastards that's going to come behind you and then service the thing? 4 years from now, when the guy's got no heat call in the middle of the night, I ain't gonna have all that shit on my truck, all these different boards and all this different stuff with all these different manufacturers. There's so many of them, it's crazy. And you know, I'll have to just deal with it, you know, one step at a time. Get a bunch of little electric heaters. If you can't get a job fixed that night, you leave the electric heaters for the guy so he at least has heat, he don't freeze up. And then you get the pots in the morning. Order them next day here or whatever. That's what we do, you know. I got a little electric heaters going on. Air conditioning and stuff, you know, same thing. They can't, if the air conditioning goes out, they'll have to just open the flipping windows. We ain't got the pots over the weekend. Well, we'll get them. All right, guys, hopefully I didn't, you know, piss anybody off with the video. I just wanted to do a little follow-up and just clarify a couple of things that, you know, I'm not against it. I'm just saying in the proper circumstance and everything, it's needed. Other than that, you know, if it's not needed, maybe you're better off just with the regular, you know, regular boiler into the chimney, or 13 seer air conditioning is fine. Down south, Louisiana and Texas and all that shit, well, high efficiency stuff makes more sense than up my way. That's just my thoughts. All right, guys, thanks for watching and have a good day.